100 glute ham raises is a lot easier without a torn hamstring. Well, 100 glute ham raises with a torn hamstring. And you wanna know why? Because I said I would. Far too often, people get excited about saying they're gonna do something and they'll stick with it until the feeling that they said that original statement in left them. But that's not really how tier 1 individuals work, people. You are only as good as your smallest task, so how you perform the most menial, smallest, least significant thing is exactly how you will perform the biggest, most important, most significant thing in your life. Trust me, how you act to small things is how you will react to big things, especially when pressure gets on. Become better today if you say you're gonna do the challenge and you do the challenge. Yeah, so the night that I actually put out that 100 rep challenge, I ended up tearing my hamstring. That time it could have been better. The worst part of it all is I wasn't even doing anything worth mentioning. You guys actually saw it happen. So a couple videos ago, I was doing a close grip bench press, and during which I ran the bar into the J-cups pretty hard, as I often do, and then I respond to it, and then I run into the cups again. I stand up and I throw a funny karate kick towards the camera as a joke. Well, that funny karate kick ripped my hamstring in half. Now I know if you're new to the channel, you're saying, man, this guy hurts himself a lot, and you would be right. But I swear to you, it hasn't always been this way. I've been training and lifting for 23 years, and I've not sustained one injury lifting until this year when I tore my rotator cuff. Now don't get it wrong, I've been injured a lot. I've had a ton of surgeries, but all that has to do with either MMA, jiu-jitsu, or my old job of counterterrorism. I got hurt doing those things. I never actually got hurt lifting until this year. Now, the reason why it's going on is because I have this puking thing. And by puking thing, I mean that I throw up about 20 to 30 times a day, so my body can't hold on to nutrients the same way that yours could, and I can't really heal the same way, so that's why I'm struggling so hard with my lifting and to be honest with my life right now, because you throw up 20, 30 times a day, you're a pretty miserable individual. But it's mainly because you kind of feel like your body is betraying you. Even 2 weeks ago, I was literally chasing Kono across my yard and broke 2 bones in my foot. So these things happen. Now I released that first clip that you guys originally saw there on Instagram, and I got mixed results. Most people were super positive. Some people thought it was too extreme of a mindset. But guys, I don't really think that. To be completely honest, I think we live in a world that gives people easy excuses to get out of their commitments and doesn't really have any repercussions for people's actions. So, I don't know, amongst the people that I work with, the people that I train with, and people that I associate with, that is not a strong mindset at all. That is literally life. That's what you do. So I just thought I'd take a couple minutes this morning to talk to you guys about pushing through the mental side of injuries. Because if we're being completely honest, the mental side is the hardest part about injuries. Once you get hurt, the second that you start coming back, you're healing. Your body is going to take care of itself no matter what you do. However, your mental side can greatly change how long that takes or how painful that whole process is. The main mental problem, which I was trying to address with that very first clip, is that it's very, very easy to act like being injured or being hurt is an excuse not to work out. And that's completely logical, because that is the best excuse you could possibly have. If you don't go to the gym because you're tired, you know you did something bad. If you skip on the gym because you had a bad day at work, you know you're in the wrong there. But when you're injured, it seems like a really good idea to not go. And to be honest, every single person around you, besides the people who want to see you succeed, are going to be telling you that you need to listen to your body, you need to take care of yourself. And I'm not saying that they are wrong. All that I'm saying is a lot of people use being injured or being a little hurt as an excuse not to get in the gym and work around that injury or even address the injury, but rather they just say it's an excuse not to get anything done at all. And if that's how you want to live your life, then I completely respect that. You should do whatever makes you happy. I truly, truly believe that. However, for me, I personally do not sit back and wait for life to happen to me. I'm not going to sit on an injury and wait for it to get better. I am going to attack it just like I attack life. If there is anything that I can do to better my situation, even the slightest bit, I'm going to be working on it. And if we're being honest with each other, that's exactly what the research is showing now. You do not take time down. If you get injured, whether it be a muscle, a joint, or whatever, you do not take that time down anymore. Now you get up and you get blood to it, because luckily enough, there are people much smarter than myself who found out that blood heals. This is also exactly why when they give a 70-year-old a knee replacement, and they literally take a saw and cut their legs in half, and they have them up and walking within hours of the surgery, and that's a 70-year-old grandma, not an able-bodied young man. There are very few things in life to get any better without taking any action at all, and healing's not one of them. So that's why you guys see me doing glute ham raises immediately after tearing my hamstring. It's not because I'm trying to be a tough guy. It's not because I'm whatever. It's literally because I'm trying to get better and there's no other option. I said that I was gonna do something, and when I say I'm gonna do something, I do it. And then number two, I'm only helping this situation. I'm literally pumping blood into that hamstring, which is going to help it heal twice as fast. Now, is this what I tell everyone to do? Absolutely not. But I'm not everyone. For me, a glute ham raise is a very easy exercise. It's like doing a pull-up. For me, it's very, very easy because of what I've accumulated over 23 years of training. And so it's a low-risk exercise and one that I can definitely do to help starting me get back in the game. Plus, I never really had to step out, which does a lot for me mentally. The second point that I'd like to address actually starts way before an injury ever happens, and this is gonna drastically change your recovery time and how quickly you bounce back. But this is actually an old Native American kind of story, but everyone has two dogs fighting inside of them. One is a dog that's negative, and it's gonna tell you, take the time down, man, you don't need to be doing that, you're gonna hurt yourself, you can't do this, you're hurt, maybe this isn't for you, this sport maybe is too dangerous, you're getting too old, you don't have the genetics, you don't have, that dog needs to shut up. But then on the other shoulder, you have the positive dog that's telling you to get up, keep fighting, keep going, you can do this. It's for you, it's for the people who wanna work hard, it's not for the people with good genetics, it's for the people who are willing to put in the time and sacrifice. That dog's your friend. But then the situation still rises that they are fighting, so which one wins? The one you feed, man. So the more negative thoughts and idea and negative people that you can keep out of your life so that you can just stay on the path that you are driving for to try to better yourself no matter what that looks like, then that's where you need to be, people. You can't be feeding that negative dog. That's a lot of times why I stopped reading the comments for the YouTube section. It's not because I don't appreciate all of you out there saying those kind things, but the problem is there's so many negative people out there just throwing things out there, and to be honest, I know everyone's like, just brush those off, but for me being a passionate person, and I come from a small town where you don't say mean things. You treat people the way that you want to be treated. So it bothers me, and then it sticks in my head, and then I become more negative of a person, and that's not who I want to be. So I'm sorry I don't respond to the comments as much, but that's why. Now, third thing I want to talk to you guys about is what to think about the immediate second that this thing happens, right? So if you are headed to a hospital because you just did something in the gym, trust me, buddy, you're injured. You're probably gonna get surgery and you're gonna have some downtime. These are facts. I hate to tell you guys, but if you do this sport long enough, it's going to land you in a hospital bed. But the good news is, so will life. The game of life, if you play it long enough, you're gonna end up in a hospital bed. So it's not that big of a deal, guys. You're gonna get hurt, injury's gonna happen. It's just what you do once those things happen. You can't let it get you down, you can't quit, you gotta keep going. So, with that in mind, the third point that I really want to talk to you guys about is how you approach this thing the second it happens. So a lot of times, like when my rotator cuff got torn, immediately my buddy Dave had just gotten his done, and he was like, well, that's 6 months. And I went to the doctor expecting a little different of an answer because of being an athlete or whatever, and the doctor was like, no, you got 6 months before you can lift anything. Literally, you have 6 months before you can pick up 5 pounds. And if you're a fan channel, you saw how well that went. But getting that news to a person who makes his living by lifting weights and needs their body to literally put food on the table, that is a strong, strong thing to hear. When someone says you have 6 months, it seems completely overwhelming and like it's a life-ending, game-changing piece of news to receive. But guys can't look at it like that. You need to look at it like an elephant. The only way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time, and that's exactly what you need to do when you're coming back from an injury. I'm not gonna lie to you, the road's gonna be long and the road's gonna be extremely painful, especially if you decide to push the perimeters like I always choose to do. You're gonna be in so much pain and so much discomfort all the time. However, that is going to help you. Pain and discomfort are two of the best teachers that you could possibly have on this earth, and it's gonna help you learn what your body's capable of and not capable of, because if you just sit on it for 6 months, I guarantee you the atrophy and the lack of doing the things that you could potentially do by working around it or just trying to get through the injury, if you just sit on it 6 months from now, you're gonna have all kinds of weird things in your head, like thinking about whether it's gonna snap if you put 200 pounds. Is it gonna snap at 250? Is it gonna snap at 300? And those things are gonna be very detrimental to your lifting moving forward. So take this particular injury of my hamstring, for example. When I wake up in the morning or if I sit for an extended period of time, I literally can't walk. I get up and I do this kind of limpy, gimpy, kind of all over the place thing. However, since I threw out this challenge, I do not feel like if you're the leader of a challenge, that you can bail on it on day 2. So I knew I needed to do my glute ham raises. I just needed to figure out a way that it would work for me. Now, when I woke up in the morning and I could barely walk, I knew it was probably not the time to be jumping on a glute ham raise machine. But luckily, I have access to this weight vest, so I threw it on, took Kona for a 3-mile walk, and after that 3-mile walk, my leg felt a lot better. There's a lot of blood in there. The inflammation was up. I was able to use it more like it was my old self, which in turn gets more blood into the hamstring, which is going to heal it faster. But if I just paid attention to the way that I was feeling when I first woke up in the morning, I would have thought there was absolutely no way that that was going to happen today. And hence, that would have dampened my recovery some. So sometimes you're not even sure what you're capable of until you actually get in and you start moving. That's what I mean by taking one bite of the elephant at a time. You need to break up your goals into much smaller pieces. You can't be thinking where you're gonna be in 6 months. You need to be thinking where you're gonna be today. You need to change your mindset to the point where you act like you're blind to everything except for whatever is 1 foot in front of your face, because that's all that you can focus on. You need to be present in this moment, and honestly, you need to experience this pain because of the teaching aspect. Because the way that you're gonna handle this is the way that you're gonna handle everything else in your life. I said it earlier in the video, but the way that you accomplish small tasks in your everyday life, the way that you wash your car or clean the dishes or whatever the case may be, the way that you respond to those things is the exact way that you're going to respond when pressure gets up. So if you kind of do a halfway job, or you 80% clean those dishes and just hope that they're clean enough, or whatever the case may be, when things get hard and pressure gets put on you, no one rises to the occasion. You actually drop to the level of your training, just like in my old job. People who were terrific shooters with absolutely no stress on them kind of fell apart when you put a bunch of stress on them, because you think you're going to rise, but you don't rise to the occasion. You only drop to your level of training. So if you have not trained your mind to be hard and to do the small things well, when a big thing like a game-changing injury happens and you're going to be down 6 months, that can easily end you if you did not already put in the framework of those small things, doing those small things correctly. And you know the tedious nature of coming back and what it means to actually be mindful and present and having to deal with the small 3-meter goal as opposed to the 1,000-meter goal. What you choose to do today is going to greatly influence the rest of your life. Do not be thinking about what happened yesterday, because today is a new day. You woke up with a clean slate. If you were a quitter yesterday, you do not need to be a quitter today. My gym specializes in running people right up to a decision where either you're going to quit or you're going to persevere. One of the two things is going to happen. If you're not running into that constantly when you're rehabbing from an injury, then you're not rehabbing from an injury. You're kind of waiting for that injury to heal itself. But like I said in the other example, which dog are you feeding? Are you feeding the dog of negativity, or are you feeding the dog of positivity? Are you doing things to better your situation every single day and focusing on that small meter target, so that if you continually make those small goals, eventually you look up and look around and you won't even recognize where you're at. However, if you're looking way down the road, hoping to get there, you're just gonna be filled with a bunch of frustrating steps all along the way until you eventually do get there. But I can guarantee that it's gonna take you twice as long. You're gonna be a much worse person at the end of it, as opposed to if you just focused on the pain and the uncomfortableness and getting out of your comfort zone and just getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you can do that, you can walk out of an injury twice as strong as you came into it, but so much of it has to do with your mind. It's not about your body, guys. Your body is going to heal. That is what it does. But your mind can get broken and will never be the same again. But this can change today. You are not who you were yesterday, and you need to think about tomorrow. If you quit early today, when all that pain is out of there, are you gonna look back and say, why did I quit? Why did I do 8 reps when it was required 10? Just because no one was watching and it was hard, I quit. That's what you need to put in your head. Always remember tomorrow. Think about how you're gonna feel about that tomorrow. And if you're proud of your performance, then terrific. But if you're anything like me, if you shortchange that at all, it will eat away at you. Not because I missed 2 reps of squats or whatever, but because I know that that's a pattern. You are what you consistently do. And if I start quitting now, or if I start putting a mindset in my head where, no, a hamstring is a good excuse not to get work done, well, then I'm never gonna get better. And to be completely honest, I have to be at Brian Shaw's house in a week and a half, and when the world's strongest man invites you over to his house for a deadlift party, the answer is yes. Not like, oh, well, my hamstring. So you do what you have to do to get better, because it's about performance on demand, not performance when it's easy. So guys, this was not meant to be motivational. I think motivational stuff sucks. I think motivation's short-lived. I think discipline and being driven to a goal is what matters, and that is exactly the way that you need to approach an injury when it comes, because it is coming, people, but you can't think of it as a bad thing. It's like death. If you constantly focus on it, then you're gonna miss all this life. All you can do is try to get better every single day, and then when it does come, then you choose to take that situation and be the best injured person that you can possibly be. Be the best recovery guy that you could possibly be. Be the best patient that your doctor's ever seen. You need to try to be the best at whatever you do at all given times, because when bad things happen in your life, it is going to matter, and you're building a character. And if you did not spend the time when things were easy and convenient building that character. When things get hard, you're gonna crumble and you're gonna fall. And an injury is a perfect example of that. So you need to stay mentally checked in, keep in the game, do what you need to do, stay positive, feed that positive dog, and you'll get better. Anyway, guys, this is not the video I intended to make, but guys, I do appreciate you guys so much for everything you're doing. I feel so humbled and so amazed that so many of you have chosen to subscribe recently, so I thank you so much for doing that. To whoever's sharing my stuff because my subscription's going up, I really, really appreciate that. I wish I knew. Guys, I feel so overwhelmed and so thankful for each and every single one of you. And guys, do not worry about my hamstring, all right? As far as that goes, in my last year with 5 surgeries and all that throwing up, a torn hamstring is a pleasant surprise. It's not even a setback. So do not worry about me. It's not gonna stop me whatsoever. I hope you guys, whatever injuries or whatever bumps and bruises you're dealing with, I hope you don't let it stop you. You gotta be smart though. Don't be stupid, don't hurt yourself. But guys, always be strong, stay mentally checked in. I will catch up with you later in the week, but until I do, go out and do something amazing, realize, keep working hard, people. Be nice to each other, and I'll see you then.